Hey everybody, welcome to That's Good Stuff, the show where we review pop culture's newest releases. And this week we review How to Make a Killing. So this is a black comedy directed by John Patton Ford. It stars Glen Powell, Margaret Qualley, I don't know how to say her name, Topher Grace is in there, Ed Harris, Jessica Henwick, um, and it's like A24 an A24 release. How to make this one can be kind of difficult to review, but let's talk about what the plot is. It is based on a older French film, I think.
English, I think.
Is it English? Kind Hearts and Coronets, 1949 British crime drama. It does.
Apparently,
Oh, go ahead.
apparently in that old film, Mel Guinness plays all the family members.
He plays all of them.
Yeah, he like plays 8 characters.
Weird. Yeah, all British. It does feel a lot like a Hitchcock film.
Hmm.
Like this would be a plot to a Hitchcock movie. So that's not surprising that it is a British film. So Glenn Powell plays Beckett. Rousdower, what is their last name?
Redfellow?
Red
Rysdale?
Redfellow, yeah, okay. So he's the son of kind of the black sheep of this very wealthy family called the Redfellows. And, she was kind of exiled for having this kid, which was Glen Powell, exiled to New Jersey or whatever. No, I don't think they live in Jersey, but because he doesn't want to go to Jersey. But yeah, okay, so Glen Powell's he narrates the whole film, which I'm not always a big fan of narration, but I thought it was fine in this one.
Yeah.
Um, and basically, he's on death row and he's telling this story to a priest about how he got there. So we learn that his mother was kind of outcast of the family, which is like Ed Harris's. He's the grandpa, he's the matriarch, and they outcast her because they didn't want her to have this kid, but she wanted to have the kid, and so they live very humbly, but he says she still taught him, how to be classy, how to live like you're from money, and she dies pretty early in his life. I think he's like 9 or something like that,
Hmm.
pretty young. And her last wish is she tells him, to live the good life. Or what does she tell him? Do you remember the exact thing?
It's like get the life you deserve, kind of.
Yeah, live the life you deserve, kind of thing.
Hmm.
So he kind of takes that to mean that he was born in this rich family, so he deserves to be rich. He is still in line to inherit the wealth. Even though he was exiled, they still put him in the inheritance. But he has like 7 people in front of him, 7 family members that are all in line to inherit it before him.
Hmm.
So Margaret, what is her character's name? Julia. So
Hmm.
he met her when he was young, but he was poor still, but he met her somehow. um, and they were childhood friends, but they kind of drifted apart. Well, she comes back into his life, and she kind of like makes a joke of it. She's like, "Oh, come see me when you've killed off the rest of your
Hmm.
family." So that kind of puts the mind virus and the suggestion in his head that, hey, maybe if I knock off these family members, I will inherit the wealth. Um, and he does that because he was working in I don't know, what do you call him?
Like a tailor shop, kind of.
Yeah, tailor shop, and he was good at it, but they kind of pass him up for a promotion, and well, they don't pass it, they like replace him
Yeah,
with someone's son or something like that.
the
So
owner's son.
yeah, and they're like, oh, you can go work at the warehouse in New Jersey, and he's like, no, that's like a downgrade. um, so he's motivated that he still wants to you know, fulfill his mother's last wish, and he kind of has, he kind of likes his old childhood friend, even though she's married, and but he's still like, I don't know, it's kind of their relationship kind of weird.
Hmm.
But she's kind of like the unattainable thing for him. Plus he meets someone else, Jessica Hardwick's character, who's married to one of, or not married, she's just the girlfriend of one of his relatives that he has to knock out. He kind of likes her too. So, he kind of puts this plan into action and goes after kind of the younger ones first. And then, like I said, he meets that girl who was dating Noah, I guess. And then
Hmm.
he gets, when he's at one of the funerals, he meets one of his uncles. And his uncle's like, oh, I should have been there for you. We should have been nicer to you guys and like helped your mom out. So, I'm gonna do you solid to get you a job because you don't have a job. So he becomes like kind of a finance bro. What's weird?
Hmm.
He the movie makes it look like he just like starts off at a desk job right away, but on
Hmm.
another part they're like this guy moved up from the mailroom up. So I was a little confused. And time does pass by in this movie with
Yeah.
it's like because he's like works there for a while. And then because time kind of passes without them telling you that it passes.
Yeah.
Because when he meets that childhood friend, she's like engaged, and then they get married, and then they meet
Like a
again.
year's pass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like 2 years pass or something like that. Um, So that was interesting. But so the rest of the movie is basically him, going through this plot, um, and then him explaining to the priest, what his motivations are. Like, at one point, the priest asked him, like, you had a good job, you're engaged to this girl, and you have like this really nice apartment. Why didn't you just like stop there? Because you seem pretty
Mm, yeah.
content. And he tells the priest, I thought about it and I was pretty content. And then, but then stuff keeps pushing him. Like the
Hmm.
uncle suffers a heart attack, and then um, his childhood friend Julia, she's kind of like a old-fashioned femme fatale from like Hitchcock movies and stuff. She's kind of like
Hmm.
a pulling strings in the background, kind of a villain, and she has a big turn in the plot where she pushes him into crime and then, he's gonna frame him. So we learn how he ends up on death row. And before we go too far into the all the spoilers and the ending, let's get your first thoughts. I like the movie. I thought it was interesting. It was entertaining. It's probably the most normal A24 movie I've ever
Yeah.
seen. Um, but I like Glen Powell. I thought he was a fun character. All the characters were pretty fun. It's not a movie that did anything like groundbreaking. There's not like super memorable parts or anything like that. But what did you think?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. At first, like you like don't usually like narrations or like the like how it shows him in jail at first and then goes backwards because it kind of spoils the movie. But
Mhm.
this one, I think it did help to give like a first person kind of perspective and like where his mindset's at like throughout the movie. Um, and this movie does a really good job of like showing like how someone would get wrapped up in this like realistically because Like first off, he gets fired, and so that kind of makes him angry. So he kind of tries it out, and it kind of just happens by accident the first time. So, and then he just gets caught up in just kind of the thrill of it, like knocking them off, and just kind of how surprisingly easy it is to kill rich people. But and then like that part where he um brings up like he had like a good life halfway through it, like he could have just stopped right there, but he was just kind of just too into it to like get out, I guess. Like, because I wasn't even thinking, like, at that moment, like, should he, like, get out at this point? So he kind of does, like, stop you in your tracks. Like, he could have just stopped and he probably would have been fine, but
Hmm.
he just keeps going and gets too greedy. And I do really like that he actually does have a good relationship with his uncle. Like, he kind of likes him at the end, and it wasn't, like, his death wasn't even his fault. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and it does to have a very like 40s film noir kind of feel to it, like the music especially, the characters, Qualley's character especially.
I did
Um,
like the music, yeah.
yeah, it kind of has like an old-fashioned kind of like feel to it. Yeah, so I was kind of like just surprised how much like I was enjoying like most of the movie. I think the ending is the weakest part because it gets like kind of confusing. It throws a lot of stuff at you like at the end, but I like the destination of where like the ending goes. It just kind of like takes all too many steps to get there. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good film.
Yeah, and I actually liked the ending for once.
Yeah,
I thought it tied up everything well.
and apparently it is the same ending as the original
Oh
film,
really?
so it didn't change much.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, yeah, I like how there's kind of twists. I mean, they're not big twists, but like
Hmm.
he's in on death row for like not what you would expect him to be
Yeah,
there.
I really like that. How it's like a crime he didn't even commit that he was caught for.
Yeah. And then, there's this whole framing part where she's framing him, and then I thought, because going into it, I was like, there's no way anyone could get away with
Yeah.
this because as soon as, two or three of them start dropping, they're gonna start looking at you. And they
Hmm.
do start investigating him real fast. But they just can't, like, find anything on him. And because he's kind of clever on the way he does the things so to make them all look like accidents.
Hmm.
And, he kind of does the thing like, where were you at 11 a.m. or something like that? And he's
Yeah.
like, oh, I was getting a hot dog.
Hmm.
So it was kind of clever how he was trying to get away with it. Um, and then the only thing that kind of brings him down is the childhood friend.
Yeah.
Um, but I really liked the ending. I thought, because it's not like a happy ending,
Hmm.
but he's still like, he survives it, and he kind of tells you like how messed up, the rich, being rich and like living for
Hmm.
money is. Um, but yeah, I really digged it. I really dug it. It was cool. Like I said, it doesn't do anything groundbreaking. Was it that memorable? I don't know. What it is something I'd say was like I recommend to other people. I don't know. But for this year, yeah, and when there's nothing out
Yeah.
at the theater, sure, go see it. But yeah, I could see it be like watching on streaming. But it's probably not one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's one of the more like easily like recommendable A24 movies
Yeah,
to like an average person. Yeah.
you wouldn't get embarrassed for
Yeah.
recommending it. But yeah, How to Make a Killing. So if you guys saw it, let us know what you thought. Did you want to say anything else that jumped out at you?
Uh, I feel like there was something about the ending. I forgot what it was. I like the last shot of it, kind of with where it's like the gates like prison bars, kind of.
Oh
That
yeah,
was
yeah, that was
fun.
cool. Yeah.
Um,
Trying to think of my
it's
theater
kind of
experience.
interesting how it kind of like how smartly he does it, like to make it look like accidents, because you can kind of see like how people would react here, like oh, they just have like a curse on them or something, or just
Hmm.
kind of. like just say like, oh, they're rich, they'll take care of it and just kind of sweep it under and not like give as much attention to this. So
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting how that would kind of work in real life because you kind of see that happen before. Um,
Yeah, and
and
the girl he's engaged to even says at one point, she's like, "Oh, maybe you should be worried."
yeah.
It was kind of weird. It was like, "Ah, fine. It's probably
hmm
over."
One other joke I liked was Topher Grace's introduction because it looks like he's like a rock star at first, but he's a preacher, so that
Yeah,
was
he's
kind of
kind of
funny.
Joel Osteen kind of mega
Yeah.
church. Yeah, there was funny stuff in it.
Yeah, it was funnier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But
I'm
it
trying
does
to think of
kind of
which.
turn into like a thriller in the like towards the end, but it's definitely a black comedy throughout it.
Yeah, the beginning's definitely just a comedy. And they
Yeah.
go through it pretty fast. Like I said, time they don't like dwell
Yeah,
on
it felt
each
kind of
murder.
short.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like because there's like some where he's like, "Oh yeah, that person was at the spa, and I put something in her
Yeah.
tooth, she died." So they kind of moved through it pretty fast. It could have been,
The
uh,
thing that is most suspicious is that he goes to every funeral, like
yeah,
that he's there every time. But like you think he'd stop going at some point, but he always keeps going.
yeah, and like, of course would see him on video every time he's at the places and stuff. That's kind
Hmm.
of how the
Yeah.
person frames her, or him. Oh, you know what I was gonna ask?
Hmm.
The guy that dies at the end in the office,
Hmm.
what was the note he wrote?
I don't know. Maybe it's just it had something to do with him
Yeah, because it got him out of
that he
jail.
was innocent, so, but I don't know what he w
I
would
would
have
have,
wrote.
yeah. I was trying to figure. I was like, what did
Because
he?
wouldn't that also like get her in trouble if he wrote something?
Yeah.
So he didn't like out her. He just proved his innocence, but I don't know how.
Plus, what? Like, how did the cops respond? Like, why didn't you give us this like
Yeah,
a long time ago? Why are you just giving this to us now?
I know.
That was a little confusing, yeah. But yeah, I just like the kind of the retro feel of it, of the
Hmm.
like those old Hitchcock crime movies and stuff that we don't get too much of anymore. I
Yeah.
mean, we do, but they're kind of more like drug deals and stuff like that. They're not like this family kind of stuff anymore.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, tell us what you thought. Like, subscribe, and notify yourself for even more good stuff, and we will see you next time. Bye.